What if you could stash away $10,000 in the next 6 months? And I mean without getting a second job or surviving on nothing but instant noodles. I know, it sounds a little crazy, right? But I actually did it. And in this explainer, I'm going to break down exactly how.
No, really, just think about that for a second. Could you, if you've been feeling stuck, trying to save up, or you just want to hit a big financial goal like fast, you are in the right place.
So yeah, that was the number, $10,000. It's a big, kind of scary number when you look at it. But you know what? Putting it down on paper like this made it feel real. Suddenly, I wasn't just saving money. I was aiming for a very specific target.
And here's the best part. You don't need some fancy finance degree to pull this off. I sure didn't have one. The plan I used is super simple, it's practical, and I'm going to walk you through it step by step.
Okay, so before we even think about opening a spreadsheet or looking at a single number, we have to start here with a mindset. Because honestly, saving money really starts in your head way before it ever hits your bank account.
This thought right here, it changed everything for me. I had to reframe what I was doing. I wasn't just cutting back. Every time I decided to cook instead of order takeout, I wasn't depriving myself. I was making a trade. I was trading a little convenience now for something way bigger later. Freedom, peace of mind.
So this is your first piece of homework. You have to give your money a mission. What is this savings for? Is it a get-out-of-trouble emergency fund? Is it a down payment on a house? A trip you've been dreaming of? Write it down. Get specific. When your money has a purpose, it makes all the little decisions so much easier.
All right, let's get into the nuts and bolts, the actual strategy. I started with a really popular budgeting rule that you might have heard of, but I added a little twist that basically supercharged the whole thing.
Yep, the 50-30-20 rule. It's a fantastic place to start. The idea is simple. 50% of your after-tax income goes to your absolute needs. You know, rent, utilities, groceries. 20% goes straight into savings. And that leaves 30% for your wants. The fun stuff like going out, subscriptions, hobbies. But see, that 30% for wants, that's where the secret is hiding. I looked at that slice of the pie and realized if I'm really serious about hitting my goal fast, this is the area where I have the most control. So here's the twist. I chopped my wants category right in half, from 30% down to 15%. Then I took that extra 15% and just rerouted it directly into my savings. And just like that, my savings rate went from 20% to a whopping 35%. That single change was the entire engine behind this plan.
Now, a rule is just a rule, right? You need a system to actually make it stick. So two things were absolutely crucial. First, automation. The second my paycheck landed in my account, that original 20% was automatically whisked away to a high-yield savings account. I didn't touch. Out of sight, out of mind. Then, for that smaller 15% wants budget, I used cash. Cold, hard cash. At the start of the month, I'd take it out, and when it was gone, it was gone. It is amazing how a decision changes when you have to physically hand over bills for it.
So we've got the mindset, and we've got the system, but what about the day-to-day? Well, that's where a few simple habits come in. This is what really connects the plan to the real world and gets you results.
Okay, these three things were my secret weapons. First, meal prep. And I know it sounds kind of boring, but I am not kidding. I saved hundreds of dollars a month just by cooking on Sunday for the week ahead. Second, I started doing no-spend weekends a couple times a month, where I'd challenge myself to find fun, free things to do. And third, I tracked every single dollar using a free app. Seeing exactly where your money is going, wow, it's a huge wake-up call.
All right, so you're probably thinking, this sounds good, but do the numbers actually, work? Let's break it down real quick. It's actually a lot simpler than it seems. So here's a look at my numbers. And remember, your numbers will look different, but the principle is exactly the same. For me, that base 20% savings was about $1,500 a month. That extra 15% I stole from my wants category added another $500. That bumped my total monthly savings up to $2,000. You multiply that by 6 months, and the target was actually $12,000.
Of course, life isn't a perfect spreadsheet, you know? An unexpected car repair came up, I slipped up a couple of times, stuff happens. So I didn't quite hit the $12,000, but I did hit $10,000. And honestly, that was more money than I had ever imagined I could save in just 6 months. It felt amazing.
So looking back, the big lessons were pretty simple. First, those tiny changes really do stack up. It feels slow at first, but it snowballs. Second, automate everything. Seriously, make it so you don't even have to think about saving. And maybe the most important thing, give yourself some grace. If you have a bad week, just shake it off and get back on track. Don't let one little slip-up derail the whole journey.
And really, that's the main point of all this. You can do this. You can absolutely do this. You don't have to copy my plan exactly, just take the pieces that work for you. The important thing is to just start. So I'll just leave you with this question. What's your mission? What's that number that you want to see sitting in your bank account 6 months from today? Figure it out, make a simple plan, and just start. You will be so glad you did.